Y'all ready for this?
Let's get this party started. This is my mother. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you too. This is my father. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you too. Wow! Hello there! Welcome, one and all, for another fine day here at Sisseton, Wahpeton College. Let's put the microphones together. Hope I don't have any feedback. That weird boop sound. Now, what are we doing today? Well, first things first. It's time for another bookgasm. Yay! Let me grab my book that just came in the mail. Is this from Amazon? No, Better World Books. Ooh, book unboxing. Yay. All right. Got my trusty scissors. I don't have my trusty old man glasses. Let's see if we can do this anyway. There we go. Why we serve. Ooh. Native Americans in the United States Armed Forces. Let me see. Where's my glasses? Oh, come out. Stick my microphone back up here. And I'm going to grab the book. I think this is a former library book. Bring this microphone closer to my fat face. There we go. Why we serve. Look at this cover again. Isn't that awesome? I wonder what year this photo. This must have been taken during World War II. Let me see. Oh, I got a bookmark too. It says here, Why We Serve chronicles the generations of American Indians, Alaskan Natives, and Native Hawaiians who have served in the United States Armed Forces during every military conflict since the country's founding. Published in conjunction with the dedication of National Native American Veterans Memorial and the National Museum of the American Indian in Washington, D.C., this book features seldom told stories of Native service as well as a wealth of images, including sketches, photographs, contemporary art, and objects from the museum's collections. This groundbreaking history honors the diversity of indigenous people and the complexity of their experiences. In doing so, it challenges stereotypes commonly applied to Native service members and pays tribute to the men and women whose contributions have been shaping America's wars and the country's history. By the way, I don't know if any of you guys in my class did any military time, but I have lost count of how many times I was called chief when I was in the U.S. Coast Guard. Let's not go there. However, I imagine that as we look at this wonderful book, there are lots of stories. Keep that word in your noggin. Stories of all the different native peoples from all these different wars. And let me see, I'm just going to go to a random page. Wow, this is really old stuff. I want to go to newer stuff. Wow, there's some nuns in here too. World War One, World War Two. Ben Nighthorse Campbell. I remember him. I actually met him. I think he passed away a little while ago. Well, not that old. Not everything seems a little while when you get old. Never mind. Keep reading. Ben Nighthorse Campbell was in northern Cheyenne. Born in 1933, he shared a laugh with a young Korean man during his service in the United States Air Force during the Korean War. So here's a nice picture. Isn't that cool? Wow. What else? Korean War. I'm going to keep rolling. Now, keep in mind, this is a native literature class. However, the very fact that there are stories that each and every one of us can write and share probably does qualify us qualify this as native literature, does it not? Hmm. All right, I'm gonna go to just artist veterans. All right, I'm gonna just turn to this random page. It says here artist veterans. Following World War II, the GI Bill made funding available for veterans to further their education. For some, including the influential young Tonai Dakota painter Oscar Howe. I didn't know he was Dakota. It provided an opportunity to attend art school. Howe, a graduate of Dorothy Dunn's studio and Santa Fe Indian School, had begun his career as an artist prior to being drafted into the Army in 1942. Following his service, he earned a BA at Dakota Wesleyan University on the GI Bill and went on to receive an MFA at the University of Oklahoma. That's where I went for my first PhD. Eva Mirabal of Taos Pueblo, also a student of Dunn's, served as an artist in the Women's Army Corps, WAC. So did my grandmother. Never mind, keep reading. Where she worked on murals and created the comic strip G.I. Gertie. After completing her service, Mirabal used her GI benefits to study at the Taos Valley Art School. Hopi jeweler and artist Charles Loloma attended Alfred University's School for American Craftsmen after being stationed in the Aleutian Islands during World War II. Particularly since the Vietnam War, some Native American veterans have used art to express or come to terms with their experiences during their service. In 1966, after graduating from the Institute of American Indian Arts in Santa Fe and starting classes at the San Francisco Art Institute, T.C. Cannon, Caddo, and Kiowa, surprised his family and friends by enlisting in the Army, following in the strong Kiowa military tradition. Cannon's father, Walter, had served in World War II in on drinking beer in Vietnam in 1967. Cannon and his friend from back home, Kirby Feathers, Ponca, have a beer and a smoke while a mushroom cloud is visible behind them. Some of Cannon's subsequent artwork, music, and poetry reflects his conflicting feelings of pride and pain about his service in Vietnam. Let me show you the picture really fast. So here's there's the mushroom cloud and the two Indian buddies having a beer together with a mushroom cloud behind them. I'm going to skip over to another random page. A lot of this is biography, however, ooh, this looks like Iraq. Yep, sure is. Sergeant Sam Sit Choctaw and Chuck Boers Lipan Apache, who discovered a shared native heritage while serving in the Army, posed next to their artwork in Najaf, Iraq in 2004. Look at this. Hope you can see that. War and Peace, Alexandra Hirsch and Mark Hirsch. Native Americans have contributed to the United States Armed Forces off the battlefield as well as on, whether deployed to combat zones, engaged in peacekeeping operations, or humanitarian relief missions, or assigned to foreign or domestic military bases. Native servicemen and women have embraced the changing contours of military service. In so doing, they are redefining what it means and what it takes to be a warrior in the 21st century. And it goes on and tells some more stories. I could just sit here and go crazy. I've already gone for 18 minutes and 3 seconds. Wow, there's even an astronaut. Says here on November 23rd, 2002, former United States Navy pilot John Bennett Harrington Chickasaw became the first American Indian to be sent into space. Harrington, an aeronautical engineer who had qualified as a NASA astronaut in 1996, carried eagle feathers, wooden Indian flutes, and the flag of the Chickasaw Nation with him on his 13-day mission to and from the International Space Station. Let's have a look at him. There we go. That's kind of cool. And that's rather interesting. And a lot of us, people always think, oh, the native, they look white sometimes. And maybe there's a mix going on. But if you look at his picture, let's look at it again. The dude looks white. But then you realize, oh, whoa, he's Indian. This is interesting. We are, as you probably have heard many, many times, the invisible minority, in air quotes. What does that mean? I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to make you guys think about that on your own. What does it mean when we call ourselves the invisible minority, and why does it keep appearing in our literature? With that, I'm going to knock it off because I've already spoken for 19 minutes and 47 seconds. Hope you have an awesome rest of the day and good luck on those midterms. Talk to you later.